was the 1990s, a big show in a small town off I-75 in Georgia. They were called the biggest cocks in the henhouse. But things have changed since then. It's been 30 years, and they finally found a home here, like everyone else, doing a podcast. It's Erica and Mark, the phone call podcast thing.
3691, reduce speed to 170, then it's going to maintain 3,000.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on. Who is this? Look, I'm on lockdown right now. I'm listening to air traffic control talk about 37 drones coming out of the water off of New Jersey right now. So give me a second. I gotta see what happens. Wow. This is not good, Mark. How are you, Mark?
Well, okay, so let me get this right now. So you've again escaped Florida, and now you've decided to go drone hunting?
I'm currently off the coast of New Jersey right now in an undisclosed location on a ship with some other UFO chasers, and we got some stories, Mark. Right now we're listening to air traffic control out of Teterboro. And
why am I not surprised?
I'm not there. I'm still in Florida, but I am seriously sitting here. I'm just going to pause this, listening to the air traffic control reports about all these quote. I love how the media is calling these. Let's call them what they are, UFOs. They're calling them drones now. Oh, these are just drones. Nothing to see here. They're drones. Everyone has a drone.
Well, for some reason they decided to change it from UFO to like UAPs, right?
To UAP, right? And now UAPs don't exist anymore. They're just drones. And hold on, let's see. I'm gonna have to monitor this in the background while we talk. Can I get some help over here? Thanks. Yeah, all right. I got somebody else going to listen to this, and if something pops up, we'll immediately break into for breaking.
Now, what are you going to do when you find something?
I've already found something out. This happening today.
So you're going to share it on this podcast?
This is very serious right now. This is how you know it's being taken serious. It's not just a bunch of hammerheads in New Jersey who are worried about this. Now it's NASCAR, Major League Baseball, and right now the NFL is petitioning the FAA and the federal government to stop the drones. We need laws that have some teeth to stop these drones. And by drones, I mean aliens. And these aliens need to obey the laws of man and not scare everybody in New Jersey.
Can we build a wall around New Jersey? Would that make a difference?
Can we build? Oh, my God. I hadn't even thought of that. We're going to need more than a wall. We're going to need
a dome over New Jersey.
Build the dome.
The New Jersey dome.
Where the hell's Trump and build the dome? Yeah, we need to get Trump on this. Build the dome. The aliens are here, folks. I'm serious, folks. They're here. They're the most luxurious aliens. Very fine aliens. Very fine ships. Very advanced. Very advanced. But we need people. We can't let them in this country. We've got enough aliens from Venezuela, Guatemala, who the hell cares? We don't need any interplanetary aliens.
No, they have to bring their own insurance if they're coming, I'm telling you.
These aliens, they're not insured. There's no way, folks. We've got to send them back to the dimension where they came from. We're going to put them in cruise ships and buses.
Send them to Martha's Vineyard.
We're going to send the aliens to Martha's Vineyard to Chicago, to these sanctuary cities. And I assure you, folks, the accommodations will not be luxurious.
Not on my watch.
Whether they're AI or biological, I don't know what either one of those terms mean. I was told to say that, but it's happening, folks.
Hilarious.
Listen in the background. There it is. Listen to that, folks. It's reality. All right, I really got to turn this off because I'll sit here and listen to it all day instead of doing this podcast phone call thing. You really interrupted my alien rabbit hole. Have you been down the rabbit hole with the drones and the
after last week's phone call, which was actually done I think on Monday, because this one will air on New Year's.
Yeah, just a couple of days ago.
New Year's Day. No, the day after New Year's, or maybe this is.
Assuming the drones allow it.
Yeah. So
sure.
Well, any of these shows may or may not make it, and that's not necessarily a good or bad thing. But
it's probably a good thing.
I was watching some things, and I saw a part of a Joe Rogan podcasts that was talking about. There was a guy that was. He said he couldn't say what it was, but he could say what it wasn't, and it wasn't. It wasn't them looking for parts of a bomb or uranium or something like that.
Who the hell's them? Oh, so okay, so it's not
the government looking for that, which makes a lot more
something.
sense to me because I saw another guy that said it was that.
Well, that's exactly what they want you to think. They give you a plausible reason.
That's a good one.
And they're like, everybody's like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense.
But it doesn't make sense of how we're not like doing anything about it. It's like I never seen anything like, why aren't we like attacking another country and blaming it on them like we usually do?
Well, President Grandpa had a statement yesterday where he said, President Grandpa said there is nothing nefarious about recent drone sightings. And then he went on to say, I'm serious, folks. I'm not kidding around. There's nothing nefarious going on here. We've got no sense of danger, folks. I have to go take a nap.
When he says he's not kidding around, that means he really isn't kidding around because that's like an old-timey saying that's like, I'm not effing around. This is what they told me.
He went on to say, there's a lot of drones that are authorized up there in New Jersey, folks. A lot of people, a lot of drones. I'm serious right now.
So I'm thinking, okay, so you have copycat people, right? So you got a handful of them.
Especially in New Jersey.
You got a handful of those people. Yeah. And then you have the jackasses.
Which is mostly everyone in New Jersey. Yes. Like I got to tell you, where were you born? I forget.
Philadelphia, but I did spend a quality of time in Morris, in Delanco, New Jersey.
Whatever the hell that means, but this is all starting to come together for me. Maybe you're a government plant, Mr. New Jersey.
I think it's Morris Township. I think it's where.
Well, look, a lot of people don't realize this, but Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, is the largest city in New Jersey.
That's actually true.
That is true.
But so then you got those kind of people, and then you have whatever else is up there. But it's amazing to me that they're talking about it, but they just talk about like, and we noticed that they're coming out of this and doing that. It's just like constantly repeating exactly what you can see being done. So it's like there's nothing new. And then you get these people on there that are just trying, I guess for clicks and all this and TikTok stuff.
Social media. Yeah, everybody wants to get paid from social media because something like 80% of Gen Z and millennials are like, well, I'm going to do social media for a living. I'm going to get a YouTube channel and get it going and make millions of dollars. And it's the same thing as I'm going to be a rock star from your generation. And, for my generation, I'm going to, I don't know, inherit a lot of money. I don't know what Gen X does. Nobody knows what we do.
It's kind of weird. It's like it's something obviously, but I guess we're not privy to get that information. But it's so obvious though. It's like they don't even try to hide stuff. Or no, you know what it is? It's we got too many ways of seeing things now.
Right.
Doorbell cameras.
Too many people with cameras. Yeah, and honestly, New Jersey's getting all the publicity, but this is going on all over the country. Not just the country, but the world, yes. There have been reports last night of a bunch of them in Texas. We had one here in the Tampa Bay area last night.
Just one? It was just one thing, or how many?
No. This was a Black Hawk helicopter chasing two white balls of light that were going a little faster than the helicopter. And then a pilot comes on and says, I'm a pilot, and we do these exercises with our helicopters where we go out and we go in formations of three. Well, how come the one helicopter in the back had the red and green light, and there were two white balls that the damn helicopter was chasing? That doesn't look like three helicopters to me. It looks like one helicopter and two, I want to say, drones. Isn't
MUFON from the west coast of Florida?
I thought they were from the west coast of the West Coast. I thought they were from Washington State.
No, I thought they are actually from.
You know what I know about the UFO community? I know that they all fight with each other. There's the MUFON, and then there's the NICAP, and then there's another, and they're all a bunch of nerds that don't like each other. That's why there's different organizations, because they were like, screw you, I'm going to go start a new UFO organization, Ron.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was like a Haney bit or if it was actually where they actually had people come on. I want to think they actually had people come on. Stan Haney show, somebody from that represented MUFON.
Dude,
because there's always UFO sightings here on the Gulf of Mexico.
Well, sure, yeah, because you know why? Because they all live in the water. That's why.
Well, that makes sense too, honestly.
USOs, undersea
We have
objects.
too many. We have way too much water and no idea what goes on, 10 feet below it.
You know what the old saying is? Oh, we know more about the surface of the moon than we do what's beneath our oceans. But
Truth, I bet.
do we? I don't know if that's true. Maybe we do know more about the oceans because that's where these things live, and that's where, and who knows? They might be down there. The AI that they have might be creating these craft to mimic ours, to have the red and the green lights that are flashing, so that it doesn't raise any suspicion. Because what better way to infiltrate than to blend?
Yeah.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. Some of the things I've been hearing about, and the only thing that made sense to me was the oops, somebody lost something. I just saw a report where the Pentagon can't find like millions of dollars.
And they have not
passed a whatever you call that audit in like
Audits.
like 7 or 8 years.
Oh, it's been longer than that. Then back in the 90s, it was like, why is the Pentagon paying $700 for?
Remember that? Yeah, and the toilet seats.
It's the same thing. It's been going on for decades.
A lot of people have been making money off of that stuff, but it's like, I could see where they could actually lose something. But it's like, it's crazy. Some of the things I was reading, it's like I want to know, but then I don't want to know. I like to be. I do like being surprised.
You are just like the American public. They don't care. It's just amazing to me that several years ago, when that Tic Tac video came out, was it like 2017? The government basically came out and said, yeah, these are the best planes that we have with our best pilots chasing these things. And our best stuff doesn't even compare to this stuff. It can't keep up with it. This stuff flies rings around the best pilots and the best equipment that we have, and we don't know what it is. That's the government admitting that there are UFOs. We don't know what they are. And how did the public react? It was on the NBC News. No one cared. No one said. Everybody was like, oh, there's UFOs? Okay, well, let me go to my Instagram story. Everybody's got their freaking faces buried in their phones.
Because they're still busy trying to learn the new TikTok
Hold on.
dance.
Hang on, I'm checking again, make sure I don't have anything else going on here. Make sure I'm not missing nothing. No.
Have you heard anything really interesting? Because I know you know what that's supposed to sound like anyway, because you're in an airplane all the time.
I have. I think did we talk
you're
about
a pilot, aren't you? Or I know your friend's a pilot,
hold on.
but are you a pilot too or no?
Hold on, let me turn this down. I am not a pilot. I did want to be a pilot when I was a kid, but it turns out that going to radio school was so much easier than learning all that shit in pilot school. Yes. So guess which one I did.
I'm surprised you haven't learned since you got your friend there with the airplane. You could easily learn it.
Oh, it's so expensive.
What, the license?
Yeah. Well, it's the schooling and the book work. All that's not super expensive. It's a little time consuming. Right. But getting the hours that you need, airplane fuel is pretty expensive, and even a good. So let me put it to you in car terms. You're going to need 100 hours, 500 hours, 1,000 hours to fly, and an airplane gets about 4 miles to the gallon, and gas is fuel is $8 to $10 a gallon. So if you do the math there, it adds up real fast. Plus, you got to rent the airplane and the wear and tear on the plane, and that is just a lot of money that I don't have. Nor am I willing to take out a student loan.
I was going to say, you do have the money. It's just you're just not willing to put the money into it. I know why. I know exactly, and I'm going to tell you why you won't do it.
Because I'd have to sell my Porsche.
And buy a what?
Well, there was a lease deal that I almost fell for last week about.
No, I thought you were going to buy. I thought you were going to end up buying a plane.
I just buy another Porsche. No, $202 a month. You could go out and lease for 3 years, 10,000 miles a year, with no money down, because there's a credit that the government gives you for buying an electric vehicle. Ford was giving away their Lightning pickups and their Mustang Mach-E cars. $202 a month, which comes out to around $225 a month after taxes and everything. $225 a month for a brand new truck that I could have had for 3 years for a couple $100 a month and never had to put gas in.
30,000 miles that's a lot of miles, though.
10,000 miles a year.
Yeah, I know that's not that's you'll go through that quick.
No, I put 9,000 miles last year on the car I have
really?
now.
That's it?
Yeah, I work from home.
I know that, but I just thought you traveled more. But you probably fly more.
I mean, no, I've been on lots of airplanes this year. But I almost did it. But then I looked out there and I thought, you're never going to have an. If you sell this Porsche, you're never going to have another one, and you're not going to be able to say to your fancy friends, "Oh, what kind of car do you drive, Erica?" I drive a Porsche. Thanks, or is it Porsche? Thank you for asking.
2567 speed 210.
Hold on, I'm checking.
210 speed Delta 2567.
All right, everything's still.
You could buy the new Jaguar.
1488.
Jaguar.
Oh, the electric ones? They're not. That's never going to happen. The whole Jaguar advertising campaign is ridiculous. What they're trying to do with the company is ridiculous. They have no plan other than to be an all-electric company, which literally no one wants.
So, when Volvo gets out there and talks about a new vehicle or Subaru or Toyota or just about any other car company, first thing they push is these are going to be solid. They're going to be cars. They're going to be safe and all this. And the first thing that kid come out of his mouth was the guys in charge of the press release is, "We're going to be DEI." Okay.
No, I don't know.
What does it have to do with a car? God bless you.
Maybe
knock yourself out.
Maybe somebody needs to look for UAPs over the Jaguar headquarters, because clearly gay aliens have taken over Jaguar. I don't know what has gone on with that company other than they have no plan, and this is their plan, to have no plan and to get as much recognition as they can.
I guess the old publicity of, the bad publicity is just as good as good publicity. If you remember when back in the 90s in radio, the meaner the host, the higher the ratings of the show. People love watching people get yelled at and screamed at.
Yes.
There's whole TV show. Matter of fact, I think the most popular TV shows now that's actually keeping cable alive are those pseudo reality shows like The Real Housewives of somebody.
First of all,
they do is fight and yell
don't believe
all the
me.
time.
I love telling all the Gen Zs about reality shows. It's like, look, these are not real shows. Oh, yes, they are. They do this. And this has been going on since, oh, God, what was the name with
the Leon Richards kid?
No, the Snooki show. What the hell was the name of that show? Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Scripted.
I saw a clip of that show and I was like, this is the fakest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I was trying to tell a friend of mine's daughter who was probably 16 or 17. This has got to be 10 years ago. And I said, and they said, "Oh, they're coming to Sarasota and I'm going to go to the shoot that they're having at this bar." And I'm like, "Yeah, they'll probably let you in. You're very pretty. So yeah, that'll be cool for you to be in the background. But I have to tell you something about these shows you're not going to want to hear." She's like, "What?" I said, "They're fake. They're scripted." They are not scripted. Okay, you're right. They're probably not scripted, but there are producers and there are actors. Snooki and The Situation, all these guys are actors. And they go into a situation, and the producer tells them, "Here's what we're doing. You're going to go up to the bar, you're going to order a drink, you're going to come up and talk to her, and she's going to be annoyed, so you say something annoying to her." And it's all ad-libbed. Mm-hmm. It's all just not even well done, and you're gonna figure it out. So when they start doing things again with different takes because something got messed up or they need a different camera angle, don't think that they're doing that because they just need to get another camera angle. That's because the whole thing is fake. It's all fake. They probably do need another camera angle, or maybe that take wasn't very good and the director wants another one. It's all, and she's telling me that I'm full of crap.
No.
And I don't know because I don't watch reality shows.
And the magic happens in the editing room.
She comes, the next time I saw her, a couple days later, she was like, "I am so sorry for doubting you." And I'm like, "What are we talking about?"
She watched it?
She's like, The Jersey Shore thing was so fake. The whole, we were all, after we left, we were all like with our mouths hanging open. We couldn't believe it. And I told them that you told me it was fake and I didn't believe you. And I'm like, I don't have any reason to lie to you. I'm not trying to mess with you. I'm just telling you.
And people still to this day love those shows. It started with Ricky Lake and Jerry Springer. We were watching the Jerry Springer show. Jerry Springer was a ringman. He's a regular Ringling Brother or Barnum and Bailey. He was
Jerry will
incredible.
be the first one to admit to you that his show was shit, but I think it was great. I think it was
well put together.
It was great theater.
And he could find something that was just outrageous. His people would find something, and then he would just go there and just take a stick and just poke a couple of times,
the bear.
and then let it happen. And he would just, at the end, he would give this little word of wisdom.
It was called a final thought. Jerry's final thoughts. Yeah. And then you got guys like Maury Povich who are, let's just crank this up a little bit here, and let's bring out somebody who's got like a fear of those little bubbles that you pack. Poppy bubbles. And then they tell the whole story about how they're so afraid of it. And then somebody comes out with like a whole bunch of poppy bubbles and they're popping, and the girls are screaming. It's almost as ridiculous as people sitting around listening to the internet just to see if anything might happen. Hold on, what's going on? What are these guys talking about?
1937.
You know what? Let's take a break. I need to monitor the situation closely.
Okay.
Contact Tower 118.3.
We've got reports of dozens of UFOs coming out of the sea in New Jersey here, and we'll be right back.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.
Just tell me to stop. Just tell me to stop listening.
No, I think it's very important what you're doing. You're doing a justice. We may be the first person. This might be the first podcast. Of course, it'll be a week later that we'll actually have the first time somebody actually identifies one, and you're going to be part of this.
This is going to be breaking news. All right, I'm going to stop right there because this is not healthy for me or for anyone at all. It's not healthy.
So this is actually going to air. This show is actually going. We're recording it today, the 19th, and it's actually going to air on the 29th, or like maybe
29th. So that's well past Boxing Day, firmly in the middle of Hanukkah.
So this is 19th. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's going to be on the 27th. That's right, because it's work.
20. Well, it's still Hanukkah. Hi, hey Mark. I hope you had a good Christmas, buddy. Everything. Santa bring you everything that you wanted.
Right after Christmas, and then we're going to be getting ready for our New Year's Eve. And I was just thinking about it's been nice these last 4 years that.
Oh, because you've been retired and haven't been tortured by doing dumb shit on the radio
on New Year's Eve. Yes, yes. It started off back in the 90s. When MJ was having his drunk show with the Florida Highway Patrol.
Yes. Let's bring in I'm Dr. Johnny Fever. Let's bring in the Florida Highway Patrol and get me drunk. And
now, here's what a lot of people don't realize, and you had to learn the hard way yourself. I am a machine when it comes to drinking. How? I don't know.
Yeah, Mark and I did that on our little radio show 30 years ago in Georgia, and I was falling down, ready to puke in a bucket drunk, and you're just sitting there like, hey, you need me to run the board? You okay? You all right?
And the guy kept like checking that thing, and it's like, and I never really blew the illegal limit, and then I did the sobriety test and I could pass it, and it's like it's funny because and it wasn't like I think it was just because I was one of those puke and rally professionals. Yeah, it's like those guys that you see on the movies and you think it can't be true. Or you might have seen him in your frat house where he's like dead, and then he gets up and pukes and yells, and then he's back to drinking again.
Those people exist, and you are one.
Yes. That's why I don't drink anymore. But they had those kind of days. I remember that one day I did that. and then I had to go to New Year's Eve. I had to go to, was it Universal or Disney? I want to think it was Disney, and broadcast from there.
Yeah, those weren't bad. It's just getting out of there and getting back to the hotel that sucks. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
what?
My ex had to pick me up from the radio station in Fort Pierce, right? And then that morning, right after that, and drive me where I had to heave out a bag a few times and eat some gas station hot dogs,
That's funny.
and crap and puke out the booze so I could be not hung over. So when they went to the Disney, when the Disney had the rock, one of the rock and roll, what was it called? Rockin' New Year, right? Dick
Yeah,
Clark?
I don't know, the Rockin' New Year's Eve
Not
thing.
Dick Van,
Yeah,
like Dick Clark.
Dick Clark. Yeah, not Dick Van Dyke. His house just almost burned
And we
down.
were going and doing the broadcast from behind the stage and all these bands, and I'm interviewing bands, and I'm like, my head's pounding. And then of course my all-time favorite was when someone would sell a bar or a restaurant and tell the people, well, if you get Mark Steele, just drop something. You get Mark Steele to come to your, talk about it on the air and come to your party. You'll be packed. No, you won't. But salespeople say that because they're looking for green.
A little bit of little pay me now.
Pay me now and hate me later. And then of course,
pay me now. Just buy from me once. That's all I need.
People have already made their Halloween, their New Year's Eve plans well before you've bought radio time.
Yeah.
And they're going to go where they're going to go. And if it happens to be that bar, fantastic. But
awesome.
I don't know. Maybe a Stern or something like that could maybe draw people. I'm assuming somebody that, but not somebody at mid-level.
I think
like me.
People have their plans on New Year's Eve, and they're not going to do something at the last minute. Dude, I had one of the lamest New Year's Eves ever when I worked at 96 Rock in Atlanta at the end of 1996, and apparently they couldn't get anyone to work on New Year's Eve. So they were like, hey, would you mind working 7 to midnight on New Year's Eve? I'm like,
oh, so you're on the air.
Any chance to work?
Okay.
Yeah, any chance. Well, yeah, because I was working part-time at 96 Rock. So I was like, you know what? Any chance to work on that radio station, I'll take it because I loved working at 96
Great
Rock.
on your resume.
And I was filling. Well, I mean, it wasn't even that. I was filling in for, Willard or Katie. Whenever somebody was on vacation, they would call me. Hey, Alan Ayo's cat is sick. Can you come and do nights? Yes, even though I got up at 4:00 in the morning. But they talked me into doing 7 to midnight. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go to the station, do 7 to midnight. I don't really love the thought of driving an hour and a half back to Macon on New Year's Eve after midnight, but whatever. And then I hear later, hey, would you be okay doing your show live from Midtown Atlanta? We'll have a promotion team out there to set everything up for you. But I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. What is it? It's called First Night Atlanta. I'm like, is that non-alcoholic thing where like people don't come out to?
No, is that what it was?
And they were like, yeah, that's so you know what that is. I'm like, yeah, I know what First Night Atlanta is. Yeah, but I'll still do it. So sure enough, I had me a couple of people from the promotion department. They set everything up. All I had to do was show up and be the star that I was and sit down at the mic and suffer for 5 long hours in the cold outside in Midtown with a bunch of sober people wandering around talking about, I don't know.
Was it $100 an hour though?
No, it was what they were paying me to do 7 to midnight. No remote fee.
No, you really got stuck.
I couldn't drink. I was there by myself. I didn't have the phones. The promotion people freaking disappeared and said, we'll be back later. So I'm just sitting there like an asshole for 5 hours by myself, talking on the radio while somebody ran the board back at the station. Oh, it was brutal. I never wished I was drunk more in my life than when I was at that non-alcoholic New Year's Eve.
We had to do the stage thing in Fort Myers, where they would have different stages all over downtown Fort Myers, and then you would get stuck at the rock stage, which was always buried in the way in the back. And then
Yeah, because that's where the degenerates are all throwing up somewhere.
And then you get up there and welcome everybody out, and then then they had to of course they had to. I don't know if most places I guess do this too. If you don't have a place to do it, they would have this mirrored ball that would come from a hook and ladder fire truck, and would drop at midnight. And I was just like,
Fort Myers is the white trashiest place that's not in New Jersey that I can think of.
It really is.
Dude, before you worked down there, I used to work at 99X in Fort Myers, and I would go to their, whatever they called it. What was it? 99X Fest or Big Day Out, whatever it was called. And I remember I was backstage with Zito when he was working there. It was before Garrett was there. Or maybe it was that. No, but Garrett was probably there as well. But anyway, we go backstage because we're watching Green Day or something, and it's like they're kind of bad. Let's go backstage and get a drink. And we go backstage, and there's this huge tent with about 50 cots, and about 3/4 of the cots have people who are being triaged like they had just been in battle in an episode of MASH. People who are slam dancing, and they're taking people away by paramedics. They're putting them in ambulances. There were people having heat strokes. There were people.
That must have been one of the Xmas balls, right?
Oh my God, that was one of the summer 99 X
summers.
Fests,
Okay, I thought you meant on
New
Year's Eve.
Yeah, because it was really hot, and that was why I wanted to go back.
Well, they were always outside. Yeah, they were always at the baseball field.
Yeah, but dude, it's like well, if somebody bring in Hawkeye and PJ Honeycutt, we gotta get these guys triaged and get them prepped for surgery. Radar, what is happening back here?
They got so cheap with that they actually started making managers like myself go and sell soda and water and keep for the money, so they could have the money instead of paying people to go do it. And so it was me and Rick Peter. Remember Rick Peterson, production guy? It was me and Rick Peterson pushing Sprites and Cokes at a place where all they wanted to do was get high.
Oh my God, man! Suddenly working at a grocery store doesn't seem so bad.
But it was like they would always think they come up with these ideas that were like, no. It's like, nowadays people wouldn't even understand that the little bit of fame you would have, if you want to call it fame, just people knew who you were. Especially if you worked in a smaller area, bigger show in a small town was kind of interesting. But as time progressed and people found things to do.
Oh, you mean like the internet?
Yes. All of a sudden, you were just not an. And I was telling my. I don't remember who it was. I don't know if I was telling my wife or if you and I were talking. Anyway, I don't remember who I was talking to, but I remember saying that right now there's a 9-year-old kid that dances with a backpack on his back. And he has more followers than I do, or ever will.
Yeah, it's tough when you realize that the internet has usurped your position, and you're done. Next.
Yeah, it's tap out time.
Well, what do you mean usurped? I can reinvent. You're done. Next, no.
I'm watching some of these kids that think that they're trying to do radio and this at the same time, and they got a general concept on how the internet's supposed to work, right? So they do dumb stuff, but it's just not that great.
Oh, dude, the stuff that happens in radio now. One of our mutual friends who is still very much involved in radio, he tells me some of the horror shows that he gets from corporate, and one of the latest ones is we've got somebody who's now this new corporate director of outside marketing and social media, and now they've got to make like 3 social media posts a day, and they need to be like this, and you need to direct it toward this, and and he's like, I work at a classic rock station. I'm 60 years old. Yeah. Who in the hell cares about me posting on social? It doesn't matter. They want it. They need it. You better do it. Get out there. So I'm trying to send him stuff to talk about, just because I feel bad for the guy, because he's got to live like this and do his job and his air shifts and everything else. And now he's got to figure out a way to become a social media star and get clicks for the company.
Oh, yeah. And then they want you to, and what was really going when I left, they were starting to get these things where they want to. Here's a quick story. I'm at the end of a meeting, Zoom call, right? And the sales manager and the general manager say, "Hey, Mark, can you stay afterwards into the meeting?" So it's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay." So get up there and say, "Okay, hey, listen, we wanted to run something by you and see what you thought about this, if you don't mind." Because this a
Right there is where you say, "I changed my mind. I don't want to stay after. I got to go."
We need a hand with a client, and it was a grocery store.
Oh no!
And what happened was, and I don't understand. I guess they understand maybe the people, they are younger than I am. So the other guys that were on the radio stations in our clusters was younger than me. Not by much, but enough. 10 years or so, enough. That they're still trying to hang on, especially the CHR guys that are like in their 45, 50s. Oh, that's so dangerous. That's such a dangerous place to be.
That's a desperate
That's
life.
Really desperate. And if you want to know what that's like, guys, look at your grandpa. If he's still wearing a hoop earring with a cross hanging off of it, he's that guy. Just desperately trying to hang on to his youth.
If he's in his 40s and he got a gauge, check him for heroin. Probably do that first, and then tell him that you're better than this.
So they wanted me to go and shop at their grocery store, right? This is number one.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, the grocery store, where I was working, I was only 20 miles from the Texas-Louisiana line. Okay, so but they wanted me to go into Texas to grocery shop, right? Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'm going to just tell you right from the beginning, they weren't interested in giving me anything.
Well, that's certainly incentivizes
no cash,
you in no way.
No. And what they wanted me to do is weekly buy things. They were going to give me or I could do my own favorite recipe. I know. Back then I was 270 pounds. I probably looked like I could cook, but no, I could eat.
So they want Mark's fat guy recipes
Put this
on
a classic rock station
because people give a crap
on
about
Facebook
that.
and on the web, and then using their using their their groceries and everything, and cooking, and like putting a camera up so I could cook at the kitchen that's at the radio station.
But let's be clear, this is with your money that you're buying
with
food
my money,
with.
and then tell people where they could go get the stuff from their grocery store. Oh, I'm also supposed to videotape myself like a selfie while I'm pushing the golf cart, looking at the stuff and
and using your own money. Let's reiterate that.
And then they said, "What do you think?"
I think that's probably the worst idea I've ever heard. Are you? I would have literally looked at them and I would have paused and I would have looked at both of them in the eye and then looked at the other guy and I would have said, "Are you fucking with me?" That's what just like in Bad Santa. I would have just said, "God damn it, are you fucking with me?" I would have been like Billy Bob Thornton in Bad Santa, and I would have said it in exactly that tone of voice. That's what I would have done.
So I took the higher road. I just said, "I don't cook."
I don't cook. 3 words. My way's much more fun than yours.
Well, come on, you don't do it. I said, no, I don't. I get little pieces of stuff and I eat, and then I go to restaurants a lot, things like that. Yeah. So, but it's like no.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me down the frozen food aisle over here to the Stouffer's section, we can do that.
And what used to make me laugh when I first got there, I looked at what the station had. And I started putting in staples. You know what I mean? Like you're, peeing on the other program director's radio station. Put my own little marks in there. Okay, so we're going to have block party weekends occasionally. We're going to have and I just listed about 50 things that you could use for added value. I didn't care how it went. You could added value it. You could sell it. Whatever you needed to do to give them. They never
these guys are just hyper focused on
49 of them stayed unsold. But can you walk down the aisle
Hey, Mark,
Orange, Texas.
Instead of all of that, can you go to Texas and go shopping and document that for us and do some recipes and cook some food for our classic rock station?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I got, well, so-and-so's doing it. I said, well, maybe they cook.
Oh, so they stole a bad idea.
Yeah, well, no, it was their other cluster. It was the Beaumont cluster was all about it. But that's because that's where they shopped. So hey, you know what?
Yeah.
And I don't know if they made any money or not. Maybe they got money too, or maybe they're just ass kissers. But the problem is my boss. I love my boss, but she inherited I'm really paying attention in 12 steps. And I'm not as codependent as I used to be. And I actually like myself enough not to sit there and take a ton of abuse from somebody just so you will like me. And I've been crap canned a lot. So if I get crap canned again, the old.
Let's one more time. You know what? Let's not. All right, let's wrap this up because I can't take these radio stories anymore. It's you're kicking off the end of the year on the wrong foot. You know what we need to do? We need to go back to the air traffic control and let's see if the aliens are any closer to maybe kidnapping an airplane and coming to take us all out. Oh, what's this? All right, Mark, I'm gonna have to go here because there's hours of this that I got to comb through.
All right, so we need to go ahead and break here and say our goodbyes, and then I'll come back with a radio bit. And by the way, Happy New Year's, everybody, because this will be our New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. You know, is it New Year's or New Year?
New Year, actually, isn't it?
That's exactly right, Mr. New Jersey. Happy New Year's to you over there.
That's with a Z in
it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm hearing it in this air traffic control from New Jersey as well. Right?
Are they saying New Year's?
New Year's. They said New Year's.
Have you heard you guys yet?
Yeah, I've heard Yin's guys, but that was when I was listening to Pittsburgh air traffic control. I heard that.
No, that's Ewan's, right?
That's
Pittsburgh, Ewan's?
That's Yin's. Pittsburgh is
Yin's. That's it, yeah.
Ewan's. I don't know what the hell that is.
Is that Ohio, maybe?
That sounds like a Baltimore thing.
Somewhere.
Baltimore. Ewan? No, you picked that up from being from frickin' New Jersey.
Probably New Jersey, too.
Everyone is illiterate there from what I can tell, except for the air traffic control guys. But they all have drones. None of them have licenses.
Well, enjoy your New Year's. And
you too, man.
We'll next time we do a show, it'll be after New Year.
We'll see about that. We'll see what the aliens have to say.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.